Come on! Turn it over! Punish him some more and retaliate with fury!
John G. Avildsen's 1976 classic Rocky was a massive hit when it came out. Fast forward nearly 50 years, and it's led to one of the most famous film franchises around, still going strong, especially now that a producer has confirmed they're working on Creed 4. But it looks like Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Creed isn't the only one wanting back in the ring. Sylvester Stallone is hinting at a Rocky Balboa origin story. Recently, Stallone shared some exciting news about a potential Rocky prequel show. He mentioned he's got a few pages written about Rocky's teenage years, where he meets his love interest Adrian, played by Talia Shire. While Stallone compared his vision for the show to Disney's Lady and the Tramp on the Inspire Me podcast, a prequel sounds more like a fresh take on an already rich story. Rocky was known for its compelling story about a down-and-out Philadelphia boxing loan shark gearing up for his first heavyweight title match against Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers. A key element of this tale was the relationship between Rocky and Adrian, a shy pet shop worker who's also the sister of Rocky's best buddy Paulie, portrayed by Burt Young. After a bit of an awkward first date, the two fall in love, and their bond evolves throughout the franchise, ending with Adrian's off-screen death in 2006's Rocky Balboa. However, Stallone's potential rewrites of their love story could shake things up. His idea for the prequel involves Rocky at 17 meeting a 15-year-old Adrian, which would skip over their iconic first encounter from the original film and instead present their relationship from a teen perspective. Stallone also mentioned Paulie moving into a new neighborhood and called young Rocky a bad boy. These changes threaten to rewrite the foundational dynamics established in the original movie, potentially undermining what audiences have come to know about the characters. Changing character arcs and relationships is a risky move for a franchise that's still thriving. Stallone doesn't seem to make a strong case for a Rocky Balboa origin story, especially since it appears to revisit the humble beginnings of Rocky and Adrian's romance, a story already well explored nearly 50 years ago in the original film. A prequel could be a huge misstep, especially with the franchise continuing to explore the engaging journey of Adonis Creed. In Rocky Balboa, it felt like Rocky's character had already gone as far as he needed to, facing Mason Dixon in the ring in his late 50s. After Rocky IV, where he scored a final knockout win, it seemed time to pass the torch to a new fighter. Adonis Creed has taken strides in this direction, especially with Creed 4 now in development. If Stallone's prequel rehashes established character arcs from the original Rocky, it could jeopardize the legacy of a franchise that still has a lot of potential left to explore. On the flip side, fans are also holding out hope that if Sylvester Stallone ever makes Rocky VII, it could finally redeem the franchise's previous missteps. It's been over 15 years since Stallone reprised his iconic role in Rocky Balboa, where he stepped back into the ring one last time to prove he still had it. With Stallone missing from Creed 3, the first time he hasn't appeared in a Rocky film in 47 years, many fans are left wondering what's next for the Italian stallion. They're eager for a seventh installment in the franchise. Despite Stallone being the original creator and star of Rocky, the character's rights belong to Irwin Winkler, and that's not changing anytime soon. If Stallone had his way, he'd already be working on Rocky VII, fitting it around his new reality show and the Tulsa King, as there's still some unfinished business Rocky needs to address. One issue has always haunted him, his relationship with his son, Robert. Rocky may have found success in the ring, but every time he tries to connect with Robert, things go sideways. In Rocky V, his fixation on training Tommy Gunn led him to neglect Robert, who was dealing with bullying at school. After Stallone's decision to kill off Adrian in Rocky Balboa, the tension between Rocky and Robert worsened, leaving them estranged again, only to reconnect in Creed. Despite their rocky past, Rocky and Robert's relationship began to improve by the end of Creed 2, when Robert introduced Rocky to his grandson Logan. It seemed like Rocky was finally ready to prioritize his family over his boxing career. But just when it looked like he understood that true legacy lies at home and not in the ring, the movie shifted focus back to Adonis Creed's story in Creed 3. If Rocky VII happens, it should focus on Rocky and Robert building a solid relationship instead of constantly clashing. If it steers clear of Rocky's boxing comeback, the story could revolve around him training Logan to become the next world heavyweight champion. The conflict could come from external sources, like Rocky facing a health scare, with Robert stepping in to support him during this tough battle. Creed 3 has opened the door for Rocky 7, and Stallone deserves a film that stands alone from the Creed series, allowing the Balboa family to finally find some peace. Fans have seen Rocky and Robert reunite only to be pulled apart again and again, so it's about time they got to witness them thriving together, setting a positive example of a father-son relationship. If there's one thing Rocky should be celebrated for, it's being one of the best dads out there, not just a legendary boxer. Right now, though, time, the undefeated opponent, isn't on his side in the Rocky films. On top of that, there's the upcoming Drago spin-off film, which promises to carve out a unique niche within the Rocky and Creed franchise. Florian Munteanu, who portrays Victor Drago, has hinted that this new installment will take a much darker tone than the previous 9 films, which could steer the franchise into fresh territory. Development for this spin-off, centered on Dolph Lundgren's iconic villain Ivan Drago, began back in November 2021, with MGM officially announcing it in July 2022. Robert Lawton was brought on board to write the screenplay, focusing on Drago's untold backstory. However, the announcement stirred some controversy, as franchise creator Sylvester Stallone expressed that he wasn't consulted about the project. Thankfully, Lundgren reached out to Stallone, and they seem to have resolved their differences, allowing the project to get back on track by early 2023. While MGM has primarily focused on the Creed films, Lundgren confirmed that the Drago spin-off is still in the works. The storyline will follow Ivan and Victor as they emigrate from Russia to the US in light of their country's invasion of Ukraine, making it a timely and relevant addition to the franchise. Munteanu shared an update, expressing excitement about the latest draft of the script with hopes to start filming in 2025. While the Rocky and Creed films have had their share of dark moments, like Apollo Creed's tragic death in Rocky IV or Damien's brutal fights in Creed 3, they generally lean towards uplifting and inspirational storytelling, often wrapping up on a high note. In contrast, the Drago spin-off aims to break away from that mold with its more somber tone. This choice is fitting, as it wouldn't feel authentic to portray Ivan and Victor as protagonists in a lighthearted narrative, considering their history as villains. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget, we always welcome your suggestions for future videos, so drop them in the comments below.